Hey everyone, hope you're doing well today, as well as possible. So now time for some chanting. It's a meditation and then continuing the commentary on practicing or studying, practicing, and sharing the Dharma with pure intention, utilizing my book to answer some questions. Okay, so here we go. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyambi Buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyambi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatayambi Sangham saranam gacchami. Tatayambi Buddham saranam gacchami. Tatayambi Dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatayambi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from their happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, about to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, about to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, about to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, about to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayata gati gati parasamgati bodhi soha. Tayata gati gati parasamgati bodhi soha. Tayata gati parasamgati bodhi soha. So now get yourself in a comfortable position for some meditation. So bring your mind inside your body, and we will release the physical tension. Any physical tension we may have and can release, we should release. If you find it hard to release this tension, then do so on the out breath or by manipulating your body. Breathing in and breathing out, bringing your mind inside the body and working your way from the bottom to the top of your body and releasing whatever tension you can along the way. So let's take a few moments to do this now. And now scan your body once more to see if there's any leftover tension that you can release. And then do it. Now bring your mind to the tip of your nose initially, your focus, and follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in your nose all the way into your lungs and then back out your nose again. Try your best to keep your mind seamlessly on the feeling of the breath as you breathe in and out. You may also add the extra technique of counting the breaths from 1 to 10. 1 in breath and 1 out breath is 1, and so on. But if you get distracted while counting towards 10, then go back to 1 at that time. Breathing in, breathing out. Right now, the rest is none of our business. If thoughts arise or any mental activity arises, don't cling to it, grasp at it, or try to force it away either, or deny it. But just simply recognize it and let it go naturally by replacing your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind starts to become dull, then wake it up a little bit by refocusing on your breath more brightly. Sometimes that dull mind can feel like quite nice, almost like just before you fall asleep, but we don't want it. So if it does arise, if it does come, then let it go at that time. Brighten your mind. The dull mind, even though it feels nice maybe, it's not conducive to a bright mind, and therefore a mind that is more conducive to realizing true insight, the supreme wisdom eventually. Breathing in, breathing out. So let's practice like this in silence for a short while. But now we can feel pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with universal loving kindness, true friendship, virtuous friendship, appreciation, respect, gratitude. Fill our whole being with this universal loving kindness. That includes those I just mentioned and many more. Good qualities. You can utilize just the feeling of this universal loving kindness, or you can also utilize the visualization technique of filling your whole being with the white light, which represents the universal loving kindness. Or if you prefer, white nectar. Feel yourself with so much loving kindness that it now radiates outwards, initially to your loved ones, your family, your friends, and fills them with the universal loving kindness too, wishing that they have happiness and its causes, that they are free from suffering and its causes, and that they are peaceful. And that also includes strangers, those people that you're indifferent towards, whether you know them or not. Fill them with the universal loving kindness too. May they too be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. And I also include those you may regard as enemies. Fill them with the universal loving kindness and friendship and so forth as well. May these three types of people, from our own perspective, have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they be peaceful. May they overcome conflict, difficulties. Now let's radiate this loving kindness out further and further distance-wise. Initially around your immediate area, to all beings now. All the living beings that fly through the air, live on the land, under the land, in the waters, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes. Whether they are born from eggs or wombs, from moisture or through transformation. Whether they are in the human realm, the animal realm, or any of the other realms of existence around your immediate area. Fill them with the universal loving kindness. Wish that they are happy, free from suffering, and are peaceful. Gradually, like a tidal wave, radiate this loving kindness out further and further, distance-wise, now throughout your whole state or county. And other states and counties throughout your whole country. To all sentient beings. May they be happy, may they live in safety and joy. All sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born, may they all be happy. Radiate this love and kindness and care for others outwards from your own heart, just as a mother would protect her only child with her life. Even so, let one cultivate a boundless love towards all sentient beings. Let's radiate this boundless love throughout the entire world and beyond. So throughout other countries, those you're familiar with and have an affinity towards, those you're indifferent towards, and those also that you have some negative feelings towards. And also have your loving kindness pervade throughout all of the oceans, to the center of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. To your loving kindness pervades throughout this whole planet. And other planets throughout the whole solar system. And throughout the whole galaxy, all of the solar systems. And all of the galaxies throughout the universe. And to your loving kindness pervades throughout infinite space. This infinite, immeasurable loving kindness. Yourself, your mind, is not separate from infinite space and all of the living beings that abide throughout space. And so now let's recite the dedication prayer while maintaining the meditative equipoise. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Okay, so we continue onwards with the commentary. Let's take some water first. Make sure that you drink enough water every day, okay? At least 1.5 liters. Yeah, a little bit less is okay. A little bit more is okay, depending on the climate that you live in, depending on how much exercise you've had, etc., etc. Okay, so 1.5 liters of good water every day. All right, so this is teaching number 13 out of 50 in the book. Any place and time is the perfect place and time to practice Dharma and to purify our minds. I think I've taught you this many times before. We've spoken about it during commentary on various subjects. So any place, we should practice anywhere, everywhere. In the time, yes, we can set aside formal times or time for formal practice, but we should be practicing all the time, everywhere. This is why we engage in the formal practice, so that we can train ourselves to practice always and everywhere. This way, we are continually purifying our mind and also helping others by being a good influence, Practice Dharma, it's always there for us. You can say it's in the books, it's in this talk, it's everywhere. But actually, Dharma is in your mind, ultimately. The teachings the Buddha gave that are recorded in the Tripitaka, for instance, and all of the commentaries by the great masters throughout the ages are there to remind us of that, to help us to fill our mind, you could say, with the methods that we need to put into practice, and then doing it, but realizing that eventually the truth is already there. We're just uncovering it. As I say or ask often, where is the Dharma? It must be in your mind. Where else can it be? If it wasn't in our mind, how could we ever understand it? If we didn't have the mind, if we didn't have the consciousness and this potential to understand, then it doesn't matter how many good books you read, you won't understand. It's the mind that understands. Okay? This finger doesn't understand. This nose doesn't understand. This mouth doesn't understand. This book doesn't understand. Your mind understands. So we need to purify the mind. And so this is the explanation attached to this quote, this teaching. If we keep our mind upright without wavering, remaining without greed and desire, and we live consciously in the present moment, then whatever we do is practicing the Dharma. Our practice is not just about external form. It is about experiencing with our mind. When the mind is clear and stable, our behavior will not go astray. Not only will we be happy, others will also feel safe and secure in our company. This is practice. The mind must be clear and stable and not follow the changing external environment. When a situation arises, our mind shouldn't be swayed immediately by our surroundings. This is practice. So often it just looks like when we're sitting, in meditation position like this, then we are practicing. Or we're, reading a book thoroughly, maybe checking it with the Buddhist dictionary, something like that. Looks like we're being very serious practice. Maybe we are walking around a temple, stupa, maybe making offerings, doing the chanting. Looks like we are seriously practicing. And we may be, depending on our mind. But actually, the real practice is in our mind. And as this says in the beginning, as I said in the beginning, keep the mind upright without wavering. What I mean by that is to keep it virtuous, and do your best not to let it flicker around, becoming overactive, becoming lazy, becoming, affected by the negative emotions, such as ignorance, greed, anger, and so forth, okay? And not attaching to certain things, even if it's good. Don't attach to the virtuous mind. You just keep practicing like that. Try to maintain this virtuous mind. Remaining without greed and desire, as I kind of alluded to just then. And we live consciously in the present moment. So practice mindfulness and awareness here and now, Don't just put it off for the meditation session, the formal sitting, but here and now, in whatever you're doing, okay? Even if what you're doing is something really mundane or something that maybe even irritates you. Actually, if you practice when you're doing something that irritates you, normally is actually a good time because you're able to let it go, realize the impermanent nature of what it is you're doing and what it is, the object that you're, or the objects, the activities you're involved with, everything's impermanent, constantly changing. And once again, I'll say to you, everything's impermanent. Our suffering is impermanent, so rejoice. But our happiness also impermanent, so practice Dharma here and now. It's poignant in this moment to do with this teaching. Then whatever we do is practicing the Dharma. Our practice is not just about external form. It is about experiencing with the mind, which I just alluded to. The external form, what I mean in this sense is that it's not just outside phenomena that may sort of obstruct our mind or sort of block our mind. We get attached to certain things, have aversion for other things, blasé to do with many other things. But actually, what I really mean is our physical sitting, our studying the book. It's not just about this external stuff related to our body. It's to do with the mind. We utilize the body, we utilize the speech to be able to train the mind, keep the mind upright. When the mind is clear and stable, our behavior will not go astray. So if the mind, first of all, if the mind is clear and stable, we're able to perceive things more clearly and able to make better choices in our lives on what to do, what not to do, what to abandon, what to adopt. Once again, utilizing that again, what to pick up with our Dharma practice, what to put down with our Dharma practice, okay? And everything else in life as well, we make better choices when our mind is clear and stable. And you could add humble and flexible to that too. So our behavior will not go astray. So we won't act bad. If our mind is good, how can we act bad? If our mind is good, how can we speak badly? The actions, the speech follow the mind. Okay. Not only will we be happy ourselves, but others will also feel safe and secure in our company. And we can extend this love and kindness. We can extend this great compassion towards others from our own heart, really without obstruction, without it being blocked. Okay. This is practice. This is Dharma practice, moment to moment, here and now. Okay. The mind must be clear and stable and not follow the changing external environment. Mentioned before, just now, I said everything is impermanent. So if we are chasing after this happiness or our satisfaction or material things that we think we want or need, then continually chasing, we're never satisfied. We never find happiness like this. If we are continually trying to push away this suffering or the things we don't like, also we won't be satisfied. We won't be happy if we engage like this in life. When a situation arises, our mind shouldn't be swayed immediately by our surroundings. This is also practice. So I think we'll leave that one there. How long have I got? Maybe about 12 minutes, something like that. I want to get through 4 of these today. This next one is very simple, even though it's long. Okay, so there's that one. So number 14 out of the 50 teachings in this. Appreciate others and you will appreciate yourself. Similar to other ones that I've taught you. Appreciate yourself and you will appreciate others. And in this case, the explanation is actually instruction in the loving kindness meditation, which compassion is also involved. Remember that the expression of loving kindness is wanting all living beings to have happiness and the causes of happiness. The expression of compassion, put simply, is wanting all sentient beings to be free from suffering and free from the causes of suffering. I kind of intermingle that when we do the loving kindness meditation, okay? So I will just read it to you. It's pretty much explains what we just did before, okay? But I will read it to you just in case you don't have the book. I think most of you probably do. You can have a look on page 51 for this in the book. But if you don't, then just review this Dharma class, the video, and then maybe if you do sometimes forget or need a little refresher on the instructions related to the loving kindness meditation, especially now that we're going to take 3 weeks off, then maybe you can refer to this video, or if you have the book, to refer to that. So sit quietly in a comfortable position, gently close your eyes. Extend genuine, warm, loving kindness and compassion to yourself, wishing that you have happiness and its causes, and that you are free from suffering and its causes. Now extend genuine, warm, loving kindness and compassion to your family, loved ones, and friends, wishing that they also have happiness and its causes, and that they are free from suffering and its causes. Now extend genuine, warm, loving kindness and compassion to those you may regard as enemies, wishing that they too have happiness and its causes, and that they are free from suffering and its causes. Now extend genuine, warm, loving kindness and compassion to those you may regard as strangers, whether you know them a little or not at all, wishing that they all have happiness and its causes, and that they are free from suffering and its causes. Extend genuine, warm, loving kindness and compassion to all sentient beings, without exception, throughout infinite space. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes, and may we be free from suffering and its causes. May we all abide in genuine, warm, loving kindness and compassion. So it's simplified, obviously. In our version that we do, even though we do a short version, there's quite a lot of details there. So you can utilize all of those details if you like, or you can focus on specific ones, You can do it, change it each day if you like. Maybe in the beginning you could do it like this, one day like this, next day maybe you can do it distance-wise, include all of these living beings, different realms of existence, etc., beyond this planet, etc. Okay, so I leave that there. Then we have the next one, once again, to do with appreciation. Appreciate yourself and others. Appreciate yourself by developing wisdom, love, and compassion, with the sincere intention to attain unsurpassed supreme enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. That's the English translation of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, the Sanskrit. Appreciate others by developing wisdom, love, and compassion, wishing that they all have happiness and its causes and are free from suffering at its causes, and that they all attain unsurpassed supreme enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Namo Buddhaya. So as you can see, so basically what I'm saying here, very simple, it's kind of cryptic, so it's actually a lot deeper than it sounds. You have to look into it, okay? Because what I'm saying is that if to benefit ourselves, to appreciate ourselves, to show respect to ourselves and to others, we need to develop the wisdom, the love, and compassion. So we need to develop this ultimate bodhicitta and relative bodhicitta, or vice versa, if you like. Okay, to realize this bodhicitta, this great compassion, great altruistic intention, as well, and unify it with the supreme wisdom. Okay, so like I said, it's a bit deeper than it sounds, but some of these explanations I kept really short. And as I mentioned before, the publisher actually is the one that chose these, which ones to put in there, and keeping it simple in a sense. But also some of them I give a little bit more explanation, but sometimes they need even more commentary on it, as you can see. So the next one, this actually is my own, you could say my own words, or utilizing my own words on a teaching given to me by Master Kuan Lian, who was my master's master, you could say, and also one of my teachers that I regard, okay, close teachers, even though we only spent quite a short time together, a few weeks really. Thich Chon Tan, Master Thich Chon Tan in California, his master came to California from Vietnam, okay, and Japan as well, okay. So he actually came to visit and stayed with us for a period of time. And he gave me one teaching. I remember him saying to me, be careful, look after your mind, really be careful with your actions and your speech, because even, and you've heard this one before, even if you just sneeze here in California right now, it affects the weather in Paris. And so that's a deep teaching on the law of karma. Everything we do, just like a pebble in a pond, the ripples go everywhere. You throw the pebble, it splashes, ripples go everywhere in the pond. So everything we do affects everything else. It's also a teaching on emptiness and interconnectedness as well. And then he said this one, something like I said, these are my own words, but as for multiculturalism, you cannot unscramble scrambled eggs, and they are as nutritious as a whole egg and still taste good. That's if you eat eggs. But it's a good example, isn't it? People have been moving around the world, for so long now, way back in history. But of course, people still, we live such short lives. I think people forget to learn from previous generations and their previous lives even. And so actually, how can we undo it? You can't undo that. And we should learn to live together, as the explanation mentions here. Okay, so, prejudice comes from fear. It comes from, prejudging that which you don't know, or those people maybe you don't know, or the animals you don't know. And then we judge it. This is where the word prejudice comes from. And then, that's so I believe. And also then it gives rise to what we can call racism and things like that, okay? So as for multiculturalism, you cannot unscramble scrambled eggs. They are as nutritious as a whole egg and still taste good. People have been migrating to and visiting many countries around the world for a very long time. and even more so these days with easier access to international travel and with globalization. We are all human beings with the same potential to be compassionate and wise. In a multicultural society, if we are wise, we can learn from each other, widen our view of the world and the ways of the world. We should be kind and friendly and engage in peaceful and harmonious interaction based on understanding. Take, for instance, to have a balanced and nutritious diet, we need many different ingredients to provide us with the nutrients that we need to sustain our body and satisfy our tastes. We can also consider how a beautiful garden has a variety of different flowers and plants, colors and fragrances. Another example is that of an orchestra, which comprises many different musical instruments that need to be played in time, in tune, and in time with each other to make beautiful, melodic, and harmonious music. So wherever we live, it is most important to be virtuous, kind, friendly, harmonious, peaceful, and understanding. May we all be well and happy. So I finished it off with that metta prayer, you could say, because that's really what I'm talking about there, the love and compassion again, isn't it? Based on understanding. So only a minute and a half to go. There's a couple of things here. First of all, I'll mention that, yes, of course, you can see around there's not harmony in many cases. There's a lot of people taking from each other, a lot of greed, a lot of anger, a lot of hatred around, unfortunately. But this is about our own practice here. We need to be like this ourselves. We need to practice like this ourselves. And then we can possibly be a good influence on those around us. It starts in your own heart, though. Then your family and so forth, okay? Have you ever heard an orchestra tuning up? Sounds terrible because they're not in tune yet and they're not playing together yet in time. But once a good orchestra, once it starts, beautiful music, So this is like all sentient beings just living their own lives, having some balance, having some harmony, being friendly with each other, or at least not being harmful. It's like that, okay? So I think that's enough for that. I will see you next week. I rejoice in your goodness as always. Please study, practice, and share the Dharma well, and look after yourselves.